This brief video clip is about the virtual microscopes which you're going to use to complete the practical element of the course. There are two publicly available virtual microscopes that we're going to use. In fact, there are more publicly available ones, but these are the ones that I'm recommending that we use. And on the screen here, I've put just a very brief comparison of the two that I'm proposing we use. One is hosted by New York University School of Medicine. This particular one uses, and we'll see it in a moment, uses Google Maps, which works on all computers, including mobile devices. It's generally pretty quick, even on an average or a slow broadband connection. Unfortunately, the slides aren't grouped in logical groups as tissues and organs, which makes it harder to navigate, particularly if you're not familiar with histology. And there's very little text associated with the image files unless you have an NYU-specific login, which of course you don't. On the other hand, the University of Iowa virtual microscope, which is a little older than the NYU virtual microscope, uses an older version of Java to display the slides, and so they themselves have identified that this doesn't work on some PCs, but works perfectly well on others. I've found the speed at the University of Iowa virtual microscope to be quite variable and often quite slow on an average broadband connection. On the other hand, it's particularly well laid out with slides grouped in groups representing tissues or organs, and very many of the slides have associated text and indeed links to other related material, including images and text related to the gross anatomy of the tissue or organ that you're looking at. On balance, then, the decision as to which one of the microscopes that you wish to use is entirely up to you and is a matter largely of personal preference. In the little video clips which I'll provide you with, I'll alternate between using one or both of them. Although this information is already available through the course Blackboard site from the basic course information, here are the URLs for the two microscopes which we're going to use. The top of the two is the NYU virtual microscope, and the lower of the two is the Iowa virtual microscope. Now let's actually take a look at these two microscopes here. Here I've gone to the URL for the University of Iowa virtual slide box of histology, and when you get in you can click here on the table of contents, and here you can see the slides that they have been grouped together in terms of the tissue or the organ system. As we see here, integument, which is skin, supporting tissue and muscle, skeletal system, etc. So just for the purposes of demonstration, I'll click on integument. And a window then loads which shows an image, you have to scroll down it, of what an overview of each of the slides would be. And this is showing an actual photograph of the physical slide which was scanned to provide the tiled image for the virtual microscope. For the sake of this demonstration and to show you how to open a slide, you choose the slide that you're interested in this case fingertip, and click the radio button beside. Once you've clicked the radio button, a new window opens, and this is where the length of time can be quite variable. Once the new window opens, you'll see that on the left hand side there's some information, including a description of what can and what can't be seen. It's important to be careful with some of these descriptions because some of them were written by students and are not entirely accurate. When the image does load, as you can see here in the right hand pane, we have the main image window and a supplementary image window which allows you to see and to navigate where you are in the specimen, and also allows you to choose the magnification of the image with the magnification listed according to the objective lens which has been used. So here this is an image using a 0.62x objective lens. This slide has been scanned maximally at 20x. For our purposes we'll just click on 5x here. And again, it may take a little while for the image to unpixelate and to develop fully, if you like. You can see here in the navigation box in the upper right, the yellow outlined box shows you where in the overall specimen the particular image that you're looking at is located. And this also enables you to navigate such that I can pull the position by moving the box and move out to the surface of this particular specimen. And again, you'll see that it takes the image some time to load. This is because the image slides are large, but also because the University of Iowa site, as I mentioned, can be a little slow. You can also navigate within the main window simply by dragging with the mouse. And in a later video tutorial, I'll show you how you can take pictures of what you can see with the virtual microscope using a screen clipping application. On the other one hand, the NYU School of Medicine virtual microscope opens with a page which looks like this. Down at the bottom of the page, they scroll through a series of slides from their collection. You could click on any of these if you wanted to, just to see what they look like. For most of our purposes, we'll be looking either at programs or at collections, and much of what we'll use will be in the so-called histology slide collection. If you click on this, and what you'll see is a whole series of slides. You can scroll down the page and you can find what you're interested in here. Alternatively, you can use the search box in the upper right hand side. So here I'm going to search on the term skin, and when I search, we see that there are various skin slides which are available to me. It's important that you be aware that any of the slides that have path or neo, path stands for pathology indicating they're abnormal, and neo is neoplasm indicating that it's cancerous. This particular slide collection includes both normal and abnormal histology, and you should probably emphasize the normal histology. Here I'm just going to select this particular piece of thick skin, and again the slide will load, and anybody who's used Google Maps or Google Earth will be familiar with the interface here. We'll see it in just a moment. We have, when the image loads, a navigation box which is in the lower left hand side, which, much like the one in the University of Iowa, allows you to see where you are in the specimen relative to the overall specimen. So here we go here. We have a navigation bar that allows us to move left and right within the specimen, or up and down. But you can do this also by just simply placing the hand in the specimen and dragging. And then the magnification in the specimen doesn't have a series of numbers, and I'll explain how you can calculate the numbers for this later on. But much like Google Earth, you simply move the magnification bar, and an image which is larger in size also appears. If you have a scroll mouse, you can also increase and decrease the magnification by using the scroll bar on the mouse, which is what I'm doing here. So that about covers it for the virtual microscopes. What I'd like you to do over the next day or two is to play around with either or both of these virtual microscopes, test them against your broadband speed, and please email me if you're having difficulty using the microscopes. If they're remarkably slow, then you might let me know by email, and we'll see if there's some other mechanism that we can work out for you.